There's a cop who has now resigned because he decided to hold a pregnant mother at gunpoint unjustifiably, all right? Let me put up their pictures here. You see the cop, you see the mother. A deputy sheriff in Bradford County, Florida, Florida, has now resigned from his job with the sheriff's office after serving in law enforcement for 2 years. His conduct included a recent traffic stop where he held a mother at gunpoint in front of her children. It was so egregious that the agency immediately released a statement to distance themselves from the deputy. Ebony Washington's children were in the car when she was pulled over and held at gunpoint by Deputy Jacob Dessou, then serving at the Bradford County Sheriff's Office. This took place Friday, August 12th. She was pulled over for speeding, doing 72 and a 55, okay? Washington was detained for 10 to 15 minutes before the deputy supervisor arrived on the scene. The supervisor released her, gave her a traffic citation. That's it. It was a speeding ticket, okay? Because of his inappropriate behavior during the arrest, the deputy faced a last straw disciplinary action that forced him to resign, which means what? It means he's had other incidents. A last straw incident means you've had others. Attorney John Phillips is representing Washington and her family. After Washington was asked to get out of the car, she can be heard in the body cam footage saying that she wanted to get to a well-lit area since she was in the middle of rural Bradford County. With her 3 children in the back seat, she says she wanted them to feel comfortable. After explaining that to the officer, he responds, and I quote, "Your excuse means nothing to me right now. I don't want to hear it." That's what he said. It's basically how he said it. He then proceeded to say, "You make any movement, that will be your last mistake you ever make." Now, this is a black woman. She's obviously pregnant. She has multiple children in the car, and that's how he's talking. He reportedly says as he put the gun toward her, "I ain't worried, I got my gun." The deputy eventually put his gun away and placed her in the handcuffs. Washington continued to explain to him that she did not, or why she did not immediately pull over. He said, "I don't care about the why, shut up," he tells her. A spokesperson for the sheriff's office said that by turning on the hazard lights and dropping some speed, she did the right thing by letting the deputy know that she was there. In a statement, the attorney Phillips said the officer's comments were, in fact, racially charged. But Bradford County Sheriff's Office, Colonel and Chief Deputy Brad Smith says that was not the case. Let's go to that quote. "Not a racial situation at all. The deputy in question is a man of color," he said. "There was just some level of not responding to his training and continued conversations about how he was handling situations. And he wasn't adjusting to that," Smith said. The cop had been with the sheriff's office since 2020 after graduating the academy. While the sheriff's office tried to develop him, Chief Smith says a written reprimand letter show the office has had several issues with him before, okay? The last time we had an issue, we entered what's called a last chance agreement. And he basically tenders his resignation, and if there's any more issues within a year, the sheriff can choose to accept that resignation, and that's what happened here. His verbal abuse was intolerable, and we weren't going to allow that at the Bradford County Sheriff's Office. Phillips released a statement addressing the resignation. Ms. Washington has spoken to the mayor, who indicated prior issues with the same cop. "We have since learned he has resigned," he said in a statement to Action News Jax. "Justice is spelled one way but defined many different ways. This is one step towards justice. While Ms. Washington is regretful for speeding, we are all mindful that it led to a public official acknowledging a problem and an aggressive officer resigning." Isn't that fascinating? Isn't that interesting? So let's be very clear about treatment here. We have seen routinely, regardless of color, we have seen routinely police officers treat individuals less than human, less than appropriate, and sometimes downright criminal. Last week, I covered a story out of Atlanta, Georgia, where an African-American male police officer decided to harass a black woman at a park, put her under arrest because she was at the park too late. She did not sign the citation initially, asked for his badge number. He gets upset. She then proceeds to say, I'll go ahead and sign the citation. He says, oh, it's too late now. That was a black male arresting a black female because she hesitated to sign the citation for something that's not even a crime, by the way. It was an ordinance. All right, David, thoughts on this?
Well, I'm glad that Bradford County is going to be rid of this particular officer, law enforcement officer. But my fear is that without a national law enforcement database, it's going to be very easy for this guy to go to another jurisdiction and say, oh yeah, I have experience in law enforcement, and boom, he gets hired. And that's, we can't keep allowing people like this to just go from one job to the next and continue to have access to a badge and a gun, because clearly this guy has a violence problem, he has a temperament problem, he should not be a police officer, he should not be a security officer of any kind. But there's got to be some way that our system tracks these people and make sure that they stay out of dangerous situations.
You're so correct. And that's why we have advocated for the George Floyd Policing and Accountability Act. That would have been one mandate in that federal law, which would have been a database. The database that the county sheriff has, we should have. If they know who the bad cops are, we should know who the bad cops are patrolling our community. If they can know our background, we need to be able to know theirs. We pay them, they do not pay us. This is very simple.